Hello, my name is Marisabel Andrade, and in this video I'm going to talk about vowels. The vowel is a sound in the production of which the air stream does not meet an obstruction and there is no noise component. Vowels are classified according to tongue height, high, mild, and loud. Also, tongue position, front, central, and back. Also, lip position, rounded, verse, and rounded. Vowels length, short, verse, long. Vowels differ from consonant in two very important ways. They are articulate without any kind of obstruction in the oral cavity. The articulators don't form a complete or partial closure or a narrow passage in the way of the exhale of the air. On the other hand, vowels differ from consonant in their behavior too. While consonants typically occur in syllable marginal position, they appear at the peripheries of the syllable. Vowels form the very core of the syllable and occur in the syllable central. In this picture, we can see a sagittal section for a closed vowel and an open vowel. As we can infer from the picture, vowels can be pronounced with a more or less degree of aperture, going from completely closed, as in the case of E, or completely open for A. The articulation is done with more or less open of the mouth, which in the fact refers to a more or less elevated tongue. As we can also infer from the picture, these diagrams are called sagittalization and are very useful to see how vowels are pronounced. If we consider the different heights that the tongue can adopt in English and imagine a maximum point of elevation, we can define the different types of vowels that exist in the language. Here we have a picture that shows the different elevation of the tongue. If we pay attention to the picture, we will see that the elevation can be of the front part of the tongue or of the back part of the tongue. To be perceived, that elevation can be from, center, or back. According to which is the more elevated, we will have front vowel, central vowels, and back vowels. The elevation, as we see, can be long or mild or high. That elevation will result in a more or less openness of the mouth too, according to degree of elevation of the tongue. Vowels can be high vowels, medium vowels, and loud vowels. If instead of the 8 we consider the openness of the mouth, the same vowels can be termed as being closed vowels, half closed vowels, half open vowels, and open vowels. Right? Good. Close here means approximation. We must remember that all vowels are produced with open articulation. Okay. Now remember, we can see all the vowels incorporated into one single diagram that shows the imaginary high points of elevation of the tongue. The picture shows only several English vowels. There are more, as we will see. However, this picture can serve us to understand the vowel chart or diagram, which is normally use the phoneticians to represent vowels. The vowel chart is intended to represent the oral space and every tone dot represents the height of the tongue. If the dot appears in the front area, then the highest point of the tongue in front of the tongue in the dot is shown in the central area, and we are referring to a central tongue. Below the general vowel chart, which is called cardinals vowels scale, the reason is considered cardinals and therefore general is that it represents general parameters which every specific language can take as a point of reference to represent specific vowels. The representation of the vowels in this scale follow specific parameters, as we can find in this picture. Alright? Now I am to talk about position of the lips. The scale also shows how front vowels tend to be unrounded, while back vowels are usually unrounded. As far as the position of the lips, the four resonator vowels can be defined as being neutral, spread, and round. The following picture shows the different position of the lips. First, tense vowels. These are produced with greater tension in the tongue. May occur at the end of word. Let's see some examples with me now. Bed, bed, boat, boat, ha, hi, how. Now, lax vowels are produced with less tongue tension, may not occur at the end of words. Okay, some examples. Bed, bed, put, bird, boy, hat, and now I'm going to talk about individual vowels. First, E, being a long vowel, it almost sounds like a big tone in RP. It is long enough to be one, but it doesn't actually glide into another vowel sound. The lips are only slightly spread. For example, if, it, dip, dip, and chip. Now the vowel E. When you say this vowel, the front of the tongue is raised over the palate. In fact, the position of the whole tongue is relatively high in the mouth, making a closed vowel. The lips are slightly spread. The vowel sound is short. For example, it, sit, rest, and good. Now the vowel E. This vowel is a front vowel since the front part of the tongue is raised when it is articulated. It's also an open loud vowel. This means that the tongue is in a long position with the how also being lowered. The lips are slightly spread. For example, hat, man, and cat. This traditionally short vowel has become slightly longer than the other short vowels. This lengthening is apparent before voice consonants such as bag and back. Now the vowel A. This is a central vowel and one which is more open than mid-range. The lips are position is a neutral one. Examples: cat, bath, come, does, and now the vowel A. This is an open vowel. The lips position is neutral. For examples: cart, half, pass, love, and cow. Now, the vowel A. The tone and how is lowered as the back of the tongue is used to articulate this vowel, hence it is a back open, low vowel. The lips are slightly unrounded. For example, sorry, wax, knowledge, car, and odd. Now the letter U. In this vowel, the tone and how are raised as the back of the tongue is used to articulate this vowel. Hence, it is back, close, high vowel. The lips are rounded. Some examples are good, for, cold, pulpit, and hot. Right? Now the letter U. This vowel is toward the back and is a closed sound. The lips are rounded. Examples: who, full, soup, boo, and show. Okay, let's see other vowels. This is a central vowel. It is commonly used by English speakers as a hesitation sounds. The lips position is neutral. For examples: were, bear, serve, for, and Now, the vowel sha. The vowel sha is an unstressed central vowel and is the most common vowel to appear in English. It is one of the problems of English teaching that the most common vowel has no regular character to represent it. Now, let's see some examples, of course. We have another, brother, the, postman, the, right? Now, the front of the tongue is used in the production this vowel, making it a front vowel. It is also closed middle vowel in that the position of the tongue and how is slightly raised. The lips are slightly spread. For example, egg, any, leopard, realm, leisure. Now, the vowel is pronounced without the position for the lips. It is the back part of the tongue that rises to a long position. Examples: loud, bug, talk, hold, and now I'm going to talk about diphthong and triphthong. Diphthong and triphthong are also other signs of vocalized sounds. A diphthong is the combination of two vowels. Diphthongs are classified in closing and centered diphthong. Closing diphthongs are those diphthongs whose final position is that of a closed vowel. We can say that the tongue moves from a more open to this open-closed position. Centering diphthongs are those diphthongs whose final position is that of a central vowel. That is the part of the tongue that moves from the front back to the centers. Let's see some diphthong. But remember, this diphthong begins with an open vowel, which is between the front and back position. We can find by, fine, side, and file. Now, this diphthong begins with the same E as in get and man. The sound then glides from a relatively more open to a more closed vowel position. For example, lay, take, pain, or fail. Now, the first part of the diphthong is the vowel found in count and born before gliding to the front closed position. For example, boy, join, voice, and foil. This diphthong starts in the central schwa position. The sound then glides to the back closed position of the vowel sound found in put and pull. Examples: slow, go, though, and coat. Now, this vowel starts with the vowel found in get and beg before gliding to the central schwa position. For example, chair, care, fair, and bear. Now, this diphthong starts in a slightly closer position than the vowel in put and push before gliding toward the central schwa position. For example, sure, endure, dure, and pure. Right? Okay. Now, triphthong. Triphthong implies the combination of three different positions of the tongue in the production of a vowel. Triphthong in English are always the result of the combination of a closed diphthong plus a schwa. For example, liar, leer, lawyer, and mower. Okay, that's all. Thank you so much and see you. Bye bye.